Hi guys, this is Miss Lippick, and I am here today to talk to you about a novel by Sarah Dessen called Dreamland. Now, Sarah Dessen is a popular author of young adult fiction, and she has written numerous other books that I'm actually going to highlight later on in this book review, but today is a focus on the novel Dreamland. Now, Dreamland is a story about a young girl named Caitlin who gets involved with a young man named Rogerson, and it turns into a very turbulent, abusive relationship where Caitlin feels very helpless, and she continues to be in this relationship with him even though she knows what he is doing is wrong, and kind of goes through her own dreamland. She has a hard time facing what is real and what isn't. She's dealing with the absence of her sister, who recently just disappeared and decided not to tell her family about it. She went to go follow a boyfriend in another state. And the book highlights a lot of themes that I think young adults can relate to. As I look at my notes here, a lot of important themes. First off, is that it deals with abusive relationships, something that is very prevalent in young adult life, but it's not so much written about in fiction. And while it doesn't end happily, if you would want to put it that way, it paints a very realistic portrait of what a lot of young women go through, and also men as well. Although in this particular setting, Dessen chooses to deal with from a woman's perspective. It also deals with the theme of adolescence. There are a lot of young adult novels that, especially that deal with a lot of fantastical features, like The Hunger Games, or any of those young adult works that have a lot of fantastical elements to them. But Sarah Dessen, a lot of her works relate to adolescents growing up, especially from a young woman's perspective, and how they deal with the world and everything that comes at them, whether it's their family, whether it's men, women, what have you, that come into their lives, and how they choose to grow from those experiences. Also, the novel also deals with losing track of reality. Caitlin is forced into this position where her sister has left, her parents don't know what to do about that, and they kind of choose to ignore her. She gets involved with Rogerson, and she begins to use drugs recreationally. She's out a lot and things like that. And she also chooses to hide her abuse. The bruises are all over her body, but she chooses to hide them from her parents. And her parents are kind of unaware and unknowing of what is going on, but she also refuses to tell them. It's a very quick read. It's about 250 pages, and it's a very interesting account into the life of a young woman who is struggling to grow up and to deal with the world around her. So in just a couple of moments, I'm going to highlight some other works of Sarah Dessen's that are particularly helpful, and hopefully you will want to read them.
Yeah.
So as I was saying earlier in my presentation, these are all of Sarah Dessen's books. This Lullaby, Dreamland, which I was talking about in the first part, Keeping the Moon, Someone Like You, That Summer, The Truth About Forever, Along for the Ride, Just Listen, Lock and Key, and the last one and the most recent that she just came out with is What Happened to Goodbye. And a lot of these books, all of these books come from a young woman's perspective, and they all talk about different facets of perhaps a woman's life. This Lullaby deals with a young girl who is just graduating from high school and going off to college, but also having problems falling in love, and how she deals with that, and how she finds love in a rocker musician who at first does not strike her fancy. Another one that deals with a little bit more heavier issues is Someone Like You, which tells the story of a girl whose best friend finds out that she's pregnant. And they're still in high school, and she finds out that the father was killed in an automobile accident. So it talks about her relationship with her best friend and how they get ready for the baby when it comes. Another big book that I actually found really interesting was Just Listen. And Just Listen talks about a girl who encounters problems with her now ex-best friend because she was accused of cheating on her best friend with her boyfriend. And what actually happens is that she was raped, and she can't face the facts and tell anyone about it. But she finds comfort in a boy who is also a social outcast at school. His name is Owen, and they form a friendship, and that also helps her end up going to court and telling them what happened and pressing charges against the boy. So all of these books, these are from my own personal collection. All of these books by Sarah Dessen talk about different themes. Some are heavier, some are lighter, but all of them have either been considered for awards, either for the American Library Association or for Reader's Top Pick. Also, a lot of these have also been on the New York Times bestseller list. So they're all very good reads. I would strongly encourage you to pick at least one of them up and take a read. They're very good, and as a result of this, I also really hope that you read this book, because it's very, very interesting. It's a good read, very fast, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So thank you.